Everyone, my name is Nora and welcome to today's webinar with the agenda for today's webinar. So we have some people here who are still considering applying to Trinity. So I will provide a very brief overview about Trinity College Dublin and how to apply to the course. I will talk about what to do if you have an offer and also mention the E3 scholarship, and I believe Anil will talk about some course-specific scholarships as well later on. And then Anil will talk about the course in more details. And then at the end, a Q&A session will be held. So again, just very briefly about Trinity College Dublin. Trinity is a leading research university in the heart of Dublin with approximately 18,000 students from all over the world. It was founded in 1592 and ranked #1 university in Ireland according to the QS World University Ranking 2020. And very important to mention as well that we are first in Europe for producing entrepreneurs for the 5th year in a row. And you can also see some other figures on the slide. Next one, I would like to show a very nice picture of our old library, which is one of the oldest libraries in the world and the largest one in Ireland. And it attracts over 1 million visitors as well. An interesting thing to mention that all of our students have access to this library and can visit it anytime. I just wanted to share this as I believe this is one of the most famous sites of our campus. So how to apply to the course if you haven't done it yet. So the application process, I would say is relatively easy. So everything happens online directly to Trinity. And what you have to do is complete the application form and upload all the necessary supporting documents, which usually consist your diploma, your degree, transcript of records, personal statements, 2 letters of recommendation, any additional documents that you might find relevant. There's an application fee of €55. And just very briefly about the entry requirements, you need to have a first or upper second class honors degree in a relevant course from a recognized university. If you have any questions about specific requirements, you can ask in the Q&A session, and Anil can also advise if you have any doubts about your eligibility to the course. If you are not a native speaker in English, then we require a English language certificate, which is IELTS, TOEFL, or we also accept PTE and so on. The full list of accepted language tests can be found on the website. You can be exempted from an English language certificate under some circumstances. If you have doubts about that, please feel free to contact us anytime, and we are more than happy to assist you. If you already have an offer, then probably you're wondering what to do next. So first of all, accept your offer and pay your deposit, because that will allow you to secure your place on the program for this intake. If you are a student coming from outside of EU, then definitely you should check the visa requirements and what is needed to get into Ireland. I would like to mention here that my colleagues from the Global Office will have a specific webinar for offer holders later on in the early month of the summer, where they are going to talk about all the practicalities when it comes to moving to Ireland, applying for a visa, applying for accommodation, what are the support services that are there for you while you are studying, talk about any extracurricular activities that you can do. So I'm not going to take this time to talk about that. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat box. Also, I would like to highlight to follow all the Trinity social media platforms, because we share like all the updates there about the study start and so on. And just very briefly, I would like to mention some practicalities about the current coronavirus situation. So if you're an applicant who has been affected by this outbreak, please inform us about your status immediately. And we are here to help you and accommodate your request when it comes to, delay in English language tests or delay in getting your transcripts and so on. So please feel free to contact academic registry at academic.registry@tcd.ie, or you can also contact me and the E3 team, and we're here to assist you. If you would like to receive up-to-date information about the current situation and how Trinity is dealing with it, please visit the websites and the links which are mentioned on the screen. So as you probably saw in my signature in my email, I'm part of the E3 initiative, which stands for Engineering, Environment and Emerging Technologies. And this initiative is without precedent in Ireland, and the main aim is to address some of the grand challenges we are facing in Ireland and in the world. And the Master's in Electronic Information Engineering is under the E3 umbrella, and there will be huge developments coming up in the upcoming years. So one of the biggest developments at the moment is the new E3 Learning Foundry, which is a new building which is going to be in the heart of the Trinity campus. Unfortunately, if you're starting with us this year, you're not going to study in this building because it's still under construction. But I just wanted to show you the development that is happening in your field of studies. If you are an offer holder, then you have been already informed about the E3 scholarship. So this is specifically for students who hold an offer for programs under the E3 initiative, and it's a value of 1,000 and 5,000 euros depending on where you're coming from. The application process is very, very easy. What you have to do is send the necessary documents to e3.team@tcd.ie, and these documents are your offer letter, a 200-word personal statement, and the copy of your latest CV. And as I mentioned, there are other scholarship opportunities for you. If you visit the Trinity website, the postgraduate scholarship opportunities, you can find a full list of scholarships that you might be eligible for. And as I mentioned in the introduction session, in this webinar, the course has some bursaries specifically for students on this course, and Anil will talk about them a bit later on. So now I would like to ask Anil to join us and present the course itself.
All right. Right, so I just want to kick off by saying a few words about Trinity Engineering. It is a fairly large school. We have more than 60 staff, but it encompasses the disciplines of electronics, civil engineering, and mechanical engineering. I am the head of the electronics engineering department and the coordinator of this master's in electronic information engineering. There are a number of other master programs in the school, but I'll just be concentrating on electronic information engineering. Now, just to kick off, let me sketch a little bit about the nature of our department. Our department has about 4 main research areas: communications, signal processing, electronic platforms, and inside here I have circuit design, reconfigurable hardware, and then music and media technology. And you can look at all of these websites for information. This is the main website for the department. The department is also associated with two major research centers in Ireland: the Connect Research Center for Communications Research, particularly 5G future networks, and the ADAPT Center for Content Transformation Research, things like graphics and text analysis and so on. So The department is the #1 electronics department in Ireland. It's ranked just inside that 100 in the world, and it is in a school that's ranked within the top 100 engineering schools in the world. This is according to QS World Rankings. I just wanted to point out that the department also runs a master's program in music and media technology, which is at that junction between engineering and signal processing and the creative arts. And in particular, we have a couple of people involved on that course who are pioneers in the area of spatial audio. This guy, in Bates, was one of the first 3 people to compose and upload a spatial audio recording to YouTube a few years ago, and he has a few ongoing research grants with YouTube and Google. That program you could find under the Music and Media Technology website, and those of you interested in that sort of interface, especially interface between digital audio and creative arts, you should have a look at that place, at that site. Okay, so let me get on to the main meat of my presentation here on electronic information engineering. So if you forget everything about what I'm going to say, the thing to remember is what this course is trying to do is to help you survive in the age of automation, right? And you would have heard in the last 5 years, especially, things about machine learning and deep learning and machines taking over your jobs. Well, we want graduates from this course to be the designers of that technology and not the victims of that technology. And technology has reached a point now where it is ubiquitous in your life. And you would have heard this story from everybody in engineering that you have ever spoken to. The course particularly prepares you for work in these kinds of domains, right? With consumer electronics and in the areas of media engineering and reconfigurable hardware, computational engineering for consumer electronics. So all of these devices require a knowledge of signal processing and machine learning. This one is quite easy to see, the Amazon Echo and Google Home and so on. Speech recognition is only possible because of the advances in machine learning and computational engineering. These are probably less visible why machine learning is implicated in them, but especially in the mobile phone, things like video coding, video transmission, all the networks and social networks that you're on, they use machine learning and signal processing to achieve efficiencies in their product. And another thing that we've been trying to expand is area in communications and driverless cars and automotive systems. But we not only cover aspects of those technologies, but also aspects of the underlying hardware and the underlying data analysis, right? So all of these sensors are sort of implicated in those devices in one way or the other. And our lecturers in analog circuits and systems are doing cutting-edge research in those areas. Now, in my experience, most of you who come to these talks online, the first thing you want to know is what jobs can you get, right? So these on the left-hand side are a list of jobs that are available to people with the profile of the kind of engineer coming from our electronic information course, right? Speech recognition, systems designer, video systems engineer, who somebody taking my course could do that, motion picture engineering, DSP engineer, communication system engineering, video coding, and all of these companies are based here in Ireland. Huawei just announced just yesterday that they're hiring another batch of video engineers, and they're very close to Trinity. Xilinx is just outside Dublin and hiring reconfigurable hardware engineers. Intel have just given offers to people on our current course, and it's subject to their attaining the relevant qualification. Qualcomm has just opened a research development branch in Cork, and they're going to hire 200 people over the next 2 years. Movidius was actually a startup that was acquired by Intel, and a lot of our graduates end up there. Recent graduates seem to be able to command up to 40,000 euros a year in this sort of space. And this year, Huawei, both Huawei and Qualcomm, I hope you know who Huawei is. They provide a lot, both of these companies actually together provide most of the hardware in your mobile phone, and they have both contributed funds to bursaries that we are trying to administer right now. Now, throughout our curriculum in electronics engineering, we have information engineering as a thread right now. I know this doesn't affect you as a master's student, but I just want to make the point that what you are exposed to is the tip of an iceberg that runs straight through our undergraduate program. So in the first year, students actually exposed to music technology as a way of teaching digital systems. Right? In my second year class in numerical methods, I have Oscar-winning guest speaker Oliver James speaking to the class every year for the last 3 years about the making of the movie Interstellar, where the solution of ordinary differential equations are used to create this black hole effect. And in fact, even though we have such a good relationship with industry, that despite the COVID situation, he is still going to do that talk over the web tomorrow for the students. And then our sort of flagship course in deep learning was built together with our relationships with Google Research and Xilinx and Movidius to create a course which sort of allows you to quite quickly get up to speed in how to use deep learning in a number of different applications. So this is how we see the master's program, and in fact our entire curriculum, right? There's a core of signal processing, machine learning, probabilistic inference, and then you could specialize in a few modules that allow you to specialize, for instance, in cinema post-production and video engineering if you do my motion picture engineering module, or telecoms if you do Nicola Marchetti's course in self-organizing systems, and bioelectronics and sensors and analog systems. Now, this is not like a computer science, data science course, right? This is much more numerical and analytical. So we are really interested in generating people who design algorithms that are used in these systems, and the actual implementation in terms of how you write code is part of what you do to get there, but it's not the end of what we are getting you to do. Now, I'm not going to play this for you, but later on, if you go to this link, this is one of our former master's students, Rodrigo Pessoa. He was from Brazil, and he has some interesting things to say about his experience on the course. And also is a small clip about myself, and this is what I look like, used to anyway. And you can see me talking for a minute on a summary of this course. But Rodrigo is the guy who is really interesting. Now, another thing you would like to know is exactly what modules and how is this course put together. Well, this is a 90-credit course. 40 credits are a research project, and we take this very seriously. You are starting a research project from day one, and you contribute or you work on that project all the way through your year. And we are quite serious about that. Our students coming in September last year were quite surprised to find that they were doing this research project from day one. Now, because of the nature of the course, these modules are compulsory: digital signal processing and deep learning. And then you could choose modules which allow you to specialize in different areas, right? So with media, for instance, speech and audio engineering and digital image video processing and motion picture engineering would be a good idea. for more hardware, computational hardware, this is an important module on sort of software that is used to design hardware. And then if you're interested in analog systems, these sorts of modules are important. I'll call out, a couple of other modules offered by other departments that we reuse, like advanced medical imaging, although next year this may not be available because of the lecture. But this gives you a breadth of what is on offer. This is quite an important module for anybody working in automation and system control, right? And highly recommended to you. We are still discussing whether this should not be also a compulsory course. So here I have sort of drawn some examples to show you if you're in the media DSP stream, these are the modules you should take. If you're in the comm stream, these are the modules you should take. Now, our department has had a very close relationship to companies over the years. And initially, in the early 80s, a lot of the staff in the department were involved in hardware design and the creation or the design of devices. So this guy, Maurice Whelan, is widely credited for building the electronics industry in Ireland. And he founded a company called S3 that is still around today and was bought by Philips some time ago. He was just honored by a Lifetime Achievement Award. These companies were connected to S3 because these guys were working with Maurice. Frank Boland, who was our former head of department, eventually spun out a company that became Xander Systems. And you may have heard about the acquisition of Movidius by Intel, and Sean Mitchell was part of that. He was a Trinity graduate some time ago. But in 2000, things changed a little bit, and the department became more about signal processing and communications and media engineering. And just to give you a snapshot of what's happened in the last 10 years or so, just in the media area. So in my area, in 2007, I won an Academy Award with a company called The Foundry in London. So I'll say a little bit more about that later. Then DTS, Dolby Sound, DTS is their competitor. DTS co-funded a lectureship, and this lecturer, Naomi Hart, is still here today working in audio processing. Linda Doyle and Luis da Silva built together a 60 million euro research center in communications, which is now called Connect. One of our lecturers in media engineering, Francois Pitié, has worked with Weta Digital in New Zealand on The Hobbit. And in fact, in The Hobbit, a lot of the color transformations in The Hobbit used his work. And Francois continues to work today with Huawei in real-time advertising. In 2011 and 2015, Google purchased, Google bought two companies that were spun out from our department. This one is my company, Green Pirate Pictures, and I spent 5 years working with YouTube after that acquisition. Frank Boland, former head, his company, Spatial Audio, was acquired by Google in 2015, and a lot of the underbelly of Pixar's Pixar's virtual reality app and the Daydream SDK comes from this acquisition. And since November 2017, Resonance Audio is a SDK used by a lot of different systems for spatial audio. And that just gives you some sort of highlights. This company, which is one of the major creators of special effects software in the world, they are now based in our department because my former PhD students are head of research in head of research division in the Foundry. And we have given them space in the department to grow. So this story is quite an interesting one of Frank. Frank spent a lot of time working on spatial audio and audio source separation. And then from about after November 2015, Google rapidly launched a lot of products or SDKs that use that spatial audio technology. Now, spatial audio is something like surround sound, but a lot more directions of freedom. So, you know, in Dolby Surround, you can move sound sources left to right, for instance, but spatial audio, you can move sound sources around your head, up and down, and also far away and close up. It's an amazing technology, especially when combined with 360 video and VR. So yeah, in 2016, every Android phone used that technology to make the phone VR capable. And 2017, Resonance Audio is the open source SDK. Way back in 2007, I won an Oscar for work on motion picture effects. It turns out a lot of the early work was used in the last 2 episodes of the movie The Matrix. And since then, I have been working with the film community, and that led to the acquisition and so on with Google. And I teach this course, Motion Picture Engineering. And because of my connection with the motion picture industry, we have a lot of pretty high-powered speakers coming to speak to the class. So if you have watched any of these movies, then you have seen our motion picture, our motion estimation technology in action, especially for slow motion and picture enhancement. Now in 2011, my company was acquired by Google, and we got some huge publicity. This is my favorite headline from the time. And I spent a lot of time working with YouTube at that point. So since 1998, we bought, we put together a research division called SIGmedia, Signal Processing for Media Applications. And this research group now has grown to involve Naomi Hart in speech analysis, and Bates and Frank Boland in audio signal processing, and myself and Francois Pitié in video and image processing. And we have, you know, quite a lot of research funding right now. We're looking for about 10 research students to take up work both as research assistants and working with various companies, including Google and Huawei. So in media and communications, we are, for a very small outfit, we're quite impactful. Naomi Hart's work in speech technology deserves some special mention, because she's not working just on speech recognition, but also on audio-video speech recognition. So combining both audio and video to do better, and also on emotion extraction. And this is a really nice project some time ago, where she was trying to assess the amount of female speakers on the radio by analyzing broadcast and detecting the gender from speech. The 2 SFI research centers in the department are major contributors to the department material in your course. So if you go to connect.ie or adapt.ie, you will see the sort of things that they get up to. Huawei is a major contributor to adapt. So our connection with companies means that we are able to get some cutting-edge research connection. All right, hold on there. I think I know exactly what's going on here. Let me just stop this here. Okay, right. So just to give you an idea about what sort of things that you do on the course, which are connected with industry. This is my course here, Motion Picture Engineering. And in fact, just yesterday, this guy, Paul Wilkins, he gave a talk to the class about 2 years ago, and these are pictures from the class. He is one of the major contributors to a royalty-free video codec that is now used, well, not just in YouTube, but also in Netflix and Facebook and so on. And he gave a talk to the class online yesterday. Today, right after this presentation, Yanis Kompatsiadis is going to give a talk, and he is from Facebook right now. Last year he was with Netflix. He's the guy sitting here last year. And both of these guys give a sort of perspective to the students about careers in video systems and what is important in cutting edge video and video quality today. The deep learning course, like I say, was sort of inspired by my own experiences in Google, as well as contributions from especially this guy, George Tudorici, one of the main researchers in deep learning and image compression today using deep learning. And this is a time when the class used to be able to fit inside a room in Google Dublin, and now it's too big to fit in a room. And this is when we used to take the class into Google to listen to George from Mountain View. And tomorrow, in fact, Oliver James from Double Negative. Double Negative is the post-production house responsible for movies like Gravity, and of course this movie, Interstellar. He's going to talk about numerical methods to my second year course. And the master's students are encouraged to go along to this talk as well. So, as far as teaching and assessment is concerned, we have a mixture of lectures and assignments like everybody else. This year, I had a number of speakers from the post-production industry, not only from consumer video companies, but also companies like The Foundry and Boulder Media. Simon is an Oscar winner, and Oliver James was part of an Oscar-winning team for the creation of Interstellar. And especially in integrated systems design, deep learning, and video processing, we have that good industrial relevance. So what we're teaching you is directly relevant, especially here, to reconfigurable hardware because of our relationship with Xilinx. As far as achievement is concerned, you must pass all your taught modules to qualify for the degree, and you need to pass on an average of 50%. The research project is conducted throughout the year. We assign a research supervisor to you, and you then proceed throughout the year. Every year, we have 2 careers fair in October, which helps connect students to prospective employers, and students took advantage of that this year. The tour of the library at the end of September is also quite important. Those of you interested in cricket, well, I actually run a sort of graduate cricket team, mixed staff student cricket team that has cricket all the way through summer, and I am hoping we could get some games this year. And the department also has a 5-a-side football, which is open just to graduates. This year, we have 2 major conferences in Dublin in video processing and communications, and the master students here will be invited to attend online to those opportunities. So, in summary then, what we are targeting the kind of engineer who wants to specialize in the development of products which involves these kinds of technologies, right? Communications, media, signal processing, and reconfigurable hardware. The course is more palatable to people who have done signals and systems and signal processing for their undergraduate degree. Next year, we are causing you to do a signal processing course to make sure that the level of your achievement is up to scratch. But that's something worth bearing in mind. And also bear in mind that it's not a data science course. It is like a data science course, but more about the underlying signal processing, more about the underlying algorithms and underlying hardware that is necessary to make systems and consumer products work, right? And this is quite important. Unlike other one-year master programs, we have a much more significant research project. Right? So it's 40 credits throughout the year.